Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, I Am With You. Please like and subscribe if you want to draw closer to God. Today I'm sharing my testimony to encourage you to walk out and step out in faith and know your identity because God is calling you. So my first encounter happened with Jesus, with God, when I was in year 9. I was lost, I was depressed, I just didn't know what's going on in my life, but I knew I was sad. I knew there was more to my life than I'm not seeing. So it was at school. I went to the school chapel. School had a church and they do like Friday youth meetings. And I went there. It was after school hours and they had a band playing. And during that time, I could sense God's presence in the room. So it really encouraged me to pour my heart out to him. I was just speaking to him in my heart without verbally speaking, and I was just telling him all the things I'm going through and how sad and depressed and lost I am. Shortly after, within that moment, after I finished speaking, I heard his voice verbally. He spoke out to me verbally and said, "I am with you." I was shocked. I was amazed. I knew that was God. Anyone that would hear his voice will know that's God, whether you believe or not. It was a voice that you couldn't deny. It had so much authority and power. My whole being knew that was God speaking, but I didn't understand why he spoke to me and what that meant. So many years later, I continued walking this lonely, depressed, sad path. I didn't have many friends at school. I felt really alone, and that voice always echoed in my soul. I didn't understand. Does that mean he's going to help me in my exams? Does that mean he's going to help me with all my issues? Because my life never changed. I continued battling all the issues and problems. And what I did see was God was helping everyone around me. God was helping those that weren't even asking for help. God was helping those that didn't recognize him. Yet he gave me a promise saying, "I am with you." But my life just looked the same. I kept losing and failing at life. I kept not having a breakthrough. I continued walking my path in just doing what I desired to do, and saw my life was hard. I battled a lot. I struggled a lot. My life didn't look any different to anyone else's. I was in the world. I was working out my identity and loss, but I still carried his voice every day, trying to work out what he meant by that. It was only when I was 26 years old, I was married at that point and had my first baby, who was 6 months at the time. I knew I still hadn't accomplished what I'm looking for. I knew there was a missing piece to the puzzle. I was lukewarm at the time, and I had a successful wedding business where I'll do chair covers, invitations, setups. It was such a dream job of mine. I loved it, loved what I created, and it was the best. But I knew there was something missing. So I was watching a movie and I started reflecting on how quick my life is going to be. I still had that gap in my heart that I just couldn't fill. I thought it was getting married. I thought it was having a successful business. I thought it was having a baby. Yet that gap wasn't fulfilled, so I didn't know how to fill it. If you ask me, it's your relationship with God. I knew I felt right with God. I spoke to him, but I just never made him everything in my life. I saw this movie. It was about a butler and how quick his life was. He started off really young and serving and cleaning, and I saw how quick and old he got. And it made me reflect on how quick my life is going to be, how quick I'm going to go old. Am I doing all the right things that I've been called to do? What am I missing? Why am I feeling like this? Why does that gap never close? I then started pressing in to God. That's the beauty of Him. He meets you where you are. Wherever you're from, He will meet you there. I felt like the lady at the well. He had a divine appointment for me, and I didn't know it. So here I was, Easter Sunday, at 26 years old. I had a wedding set up, 200 chair covers. I had a deadline. I was running behind time, very stressed. My car was out of fuel, and I got to a point where I didn't even have time to set up. I didn't have time to set up. This is a moment in the car where I reached out to God and I said, please help me. I need you. I'm desperate. I can't do this without you. And His presence filled my car. You know, when the Holy Spirit, when God enters the room, the atmosphere changes. All the worry, the anxiety, the fear, everything just bows down. It leaves in His presence. And this is exactly what happened in my car. He met me there. He heard my prayers and He told me everything's going to be fine. He's going to take care of me and help me with the setup. It was just me and Him in that moment. On Easter Sunday, I was meant to be at church. This is who He is. He meets you where you're at. He's such a great God. And because of His promise and because He showed up when I needed Him, in that moment, I gave my heart to Him. He showed me the words to say. I said, I'm ready to follow you. Forgive me for my sins. I'm done. I want to know you and what you have called me to do on this earth. My life instantly changed. It was like I was born again, like a baby just being born in the Spirit. I could see for the first time and hear. I could smell flowers for the first time. I could see and hear His creation. It was the best moment of my life. If anyone is at that point where God is calling them, but they're not ready to let go of what they're holding on to, this message is for you. You will not regret it. He has a great plan for you. But sometimes we have to let go of what He's telling us to let go of so He can move in that space. Because He has a better plan than what you're doing. He knows how many hairs are on your head. He knows you so well. And He knows what's best for you. Taking you back to the moment in the car where I gave my life to Him, He helped me and kept His word. And I got to my destiny. Completed the setup of all 200 chair covers on empty fuel. I was setting up for the first time with His peace with me, not being anxious or worried about anything. So this is part 1 of my testimony to help you grow in your faith with God. Really excited to hear any testimonies you've had with God of His calling you like He called me. The best is yet to come on this journey. It's never a dull moment with Jesus. Have a lovely day and speak soon.